Hi everyone, welcome to week one. It's great to have you on board and I hope that you're excited about getting started with the unit. Language and literacy is a particular passion of mine. I loved it at school, I love reading and writing now, and it's my favourite subject to teach in the classroom as well. This said, it's a complex subject and there's a lot to learn, and it's vital that as teachers we have an excellent understanding of the subject and that we're able to communicate well ourselves in order to teach our students well. I know that starting something new can be a little overwhelming, so today I wanted to take you through what you'll need to look at this week and the discussion tasks that are also set. Before I get started, a word about participation on the discussion boards. I can't stress enough how much more you're going to get out of this course if you get involved. Just as students in the classroom benefit enormously from collaboration, so will you. It's a safe place to bounce ideas around, develop your knowledge and understanding, and ask questions and get clarification. Okay, so let's get started. At the moment I'm on the home page here and I'll click on modules, which will take you hopefully here. Okay, so module 1 is all about the unit and how to be successful. You'll find the unit overview here with a video, and if you scroll down you'll see a breakdown of the themes that we're going to be covering and which assignment will assess the knowledge of those themes. There's some information about the unit structure here, and the schedule in particular is important as this has information about the due dates for assignments, so I encourage you to write these into your diary now. So you'll find some information here also about how to be successful in this unit, which is definitely worth having a look at. And in 0.3, you'll find information on the 3 assignments. Each of these here is a link that takes you to more information about that assignment. It's a good idea to have a look at all of these, but start by getting your head around the first assignment. It's always a good idea to go into something with your eyes open, and knowing what you'll need to show in your essay will help you when it comes to doing your readings to make sure that you have the information that you need. There's also some information here about Studiosity, which is a great free proofreading service who can help you by reading your assignment drafts for grammar, referencing and spelling and so on. Then we come to the first discussion. Now don't get tricked by this page. I did when I started using Canvas. It does tell you what the discussion task is here, but if you post a reply down here, it actually won't appear on the board. What you need to do is you need to click on our learning group and you'll see that this takes you to a page that looks essentially the same, but it also has an introduction from me. So over here I have posed some questions and you can click on reply and that will tell me what you think. Once you've done this, we move on to this week's module. And this week we're talking about English and multiliteracies. You'll find the learning intentions for the week down here. And as in any subject, you'll find that there are many new terms and technical phrases to learn. Make sure that if you come across a word that you don't know, that you find out what it means. This is no different from what we would ask a student in our class to do to ensure that they have full comprehension of what they're reading. We want you to have full comprehension of what you're reading also. There's a link here that will take you to the English section of the Australian curriculum. The Australian curriculum, or the AC, is a notoriously tricky document to navigate and it takes time to get your head around it. But it is extremely important that you do get your head around it because it's the guiding document for curriculum in all schools across Australia. Many of the different states also have curriculum documents, but those are also based on the Australian curriculum. There's a video here about the socio-cultural perspective, which is the theoretical perspective that underpins curriculum documents in Australia. So it's important that you know about it. And on the next page, there are a couple more videos and some information about digital literacies and the growing importance of multimodal texts. In 1.4, you'll find this week's readings. Take your time reading through these and make some notes. In chapter 4, you'll start to learn about different theories and models of literacy development. This week, the particular focus is on bottom-up theory and the skills model, and this will be what this week's discussion is about. It's also one of the models that you might choose for your first assignment. Okay, so then we get to this week's things. Again, you're going to need to click on our learning group to take you to the discussion board. And you'll see that I have some information here that I haven't put up yet, but there will be an introduction to what you need to do this week. So what do you need to do? You need to think about what you've read about bottom-up theory and the skills model. And then you need to explain it in your own words. In your own words is important here because it's really good practice for your assignments to paraphrase what you've read. It's not an easy skill, but it's an essential skill. But then I want you to think about your own experiences or what you may have observed in the area of skills in the classroom. That might be when you were at school yourself. It might be something that you've seen in your child's classroom that you think fits within the skills model, or maybe you work in a school yourself in some capacity and you've seen or been involved in something. An example might be a teacher teaching individual spelling sounds, such as CH making the ch sound. How would you explain how this fits into the skills model? Give an example of what you've experienced or observed, and see if you can justify or explain why you think this fits into the bottom-up theory and skills model. There is a second step here, so don't just post your response and disappear from the board and consider that this week's done. Pop back into the discussion board every couple of days and respond to somebody else's post. Think about their example and what a limitation of that example might be, and explain why. A limitation of my example might be that by teaching individual sounds, the students aren't necessarily learning the spelling sounds in context, and so the learning of these words and sounds might not transfer into the students' writing, as they're not using them in an incorporated way, but rather in isolation. As you can see, my limitation is not saying that what the person has posted is wrong. It's an assessment of the skill that was identified by the other person and is asking you to think about what the potential limitations of teaching skills individually might be. Okay, that's it for now. I'm looking forward to reading all about your experiences and observations. Thanks, everyone.